He's had a terrific season, Ben.
Oh, meteoric rise. He deserved all the bodies he's got this year. Physical. And we talked about when Steve Borthwick retired, who was going to be the person to come in, play that sort of role, and he certainly stepped up to the plate, particularly with some of the injury problems that Ali Hargreaves has had.
Plenty of leaders all across the Saracens team, but interestingly today, no Brad Barrett and no Billy Vunipola, shorn of two of their superstars this afternoon through injury. They've had a relatively tough couple of weeks, as we see JP Doyle, who's in charge this afternoon, defeating Clermont, of course, in that bruising European semi-final, and on the wrong end of the result in Milton Keynes against the Saints.
Dave, you got me?
So the playoff picture a little clearer after Bath's win on Friday. Leicester's stunning performance yesterday at the Rico. It could all be settled by 4 o'clock this afternoon, or of course it will all rest on Saturday's final round. Do or die, in the words of Alistair Hargreaves this afternoon for these two.
Absolutely brilliant clear up from Petrus Duplessis there. All spilling through Itoje's hands.
Well taken by Slade. He's been shuffled across the back division this week. Back where he started way back in September in the outside centre channel. Imagine there'll be a good deal of mixing and matching though between him and Steenson.
Use it!
This is Chudley. He's been one of their standouts in this campaign as well. Terrific take from Jackson Ray. Steenson clobbered.
Tackle on him.
This is Dave Ewers, who won the Player of the Season award, voted by his peers earlier in the week.
Don't go forward!
There is Slade, lending that hefty left boot to proceedings.
Nice waiting for the first person to make a mistake, because there's been some quality rugby so far. Good takes of the high ball, good kick pressure, but players getting themselves out of trouble.
And what about that? Henry Slade has got the slide rule out, and he's rolled that inside the Sarries 22.
Yeah, really nice way to win a kicking battle. Some great box kicks, good chases, nice skill all round, but then you get the opportunity to step forward. The cover's on the other side of the field. It's not much space, but he still lands it in exactly the right spot.
Quite a campaign for Henry Slade, knocking firmly on the door, if not bashing it down as far as Stuart Lancaster's concerned, with the World Cup on the horizon. Toji with the line-out ball for Wigglesworth. This is Matt Jess.
14 offside. I was screaming at him.
So that's a penalty against Chris Ashton.
I couldn't have shouted any louder.
The referee saying I couldn't have shouted any louder. He was screaming at him. Ashton couldn't hear.
Yeah, it's really put the heat on.
Where does he come from? He is, he's a mile in front. It's because Wigglesworth steps back a long way to give himself space. Ashton doesn't realise he's going to do it. He tries to slow his run down, but he still started in front. Wigglesworth never put him onside.
What about this then for the Chiefs? Need to be taking care of that ball. They've gone backwards at the rate of knots, and Steenson's hooked that well wide.
He didn't
Never
want
had a whole
it.
lot of time.
Yeah, he didn't want it, did he? He's saying, let's reset, use the forwards to go another phase.
Ben, watch those guys going up.
Problem he's got that he's stepped back into the pocket a little bit already, so he's got no players behind him like Hill who can just carry on that bad possession, make a few yards, reset and go again. A little go at Thomas Waldron for throwing the pass at him.
It was an excellent field position squandered, and now back on halfway. Here's Cowan Dickey. Recent injury trouble has meant that he's had a bit of a layoff. Slade going high and is taking the ball a lot at first receiver. Wigglesworth.
Use it.
No thought about running either there from Slade. He was stood stationary, knowing he was going to put the bomb up.
Stay up, second row.
An indication to Exeter's early
Use
tactics. A lot of kicking so far.
Let's take him back in.
Steenson. Jackson Ray, who will relish the opportunity to wear that number 8 shirt normally occupied by Billy Vunipola. He's another who's put in terrific shifts week in, week out. Obviously a lot of game time through the international periods, but somebody that Sarries could ill have done without this season.
He kicked it off his chest, play on, off his left knee.
A little knock on surely from Slade, but Sam Hill is straight over the gain line. And the Chiefs sensing an opportunity here. Quickly on from Slade. This is McGuigan.
Thanks, 9.
Ben Moon. Met by that wall of black. Jamie George, a little chink of light, and so nearly through was Waldron. Exeter on the front foot here and gathering a nice bit of momentum through Mitch Lees. Chudley sniping. Whipped away by Moon. No way through for Slade.
Advantage, entry 7.
There's the penalty.
Sliding entry 7.
Jacques Berger, who's been seen off by JP Doyle.
Hands in first, then brought the feet round.
Yeah, some good play from Exeter. Obviously deciding not to kick when there's opportunities and when the Saracens' defensive line's broken. And just again, let's have a look at
Can you tell Dean that message from me?
what the penalty's for. Just coming in at the side, but they're in behind, they're causing them problems, a bit of panic. You can see Berger just sidestepping in, but created from this little ball from Ewers. Jamie George flies out of the line because he knows how big a carrier Ewers is. And just a tip on to Waldron. There's that dog leg in the defensive line, they get the momentum and they end up getting this penalty.
Easy pickings for Gareth Steenson and reward for the early hard work from the Exeter Chiefs.
Just to re-emphasise what Ben's saying then about attacking defensive opportunities, it's actually 2 front rowers, Du Plessis and George. George shoots out the line, but that creates a dogleg because Du Plessis doesn't get on his shoulder. That allows somebody to turn their shoulders, Waldron, and just get in behind. If that offloads a little bit quicker, there's an opportunity to score.
Jess clearing long, and Alex Good, oh, he was looking where he was heading. He was eyeing up all the space in front of him, and the ball came in and bounced out.
I was watching Good actually in the warm-up. He was really struggling with the wind and the sun. There was a few kicks going up for him. It's very, well, the sun's in exactly the wrong position for the fullback. Well, maybe it got in his eyes a little bit there, and the wind changing the trajectory of the ball as well. They're tough balls to catch.
Well, 7 minutes in, first scrum. I think this is going to be a key part of the game. Very, very evenly matched all season. Look at that. Barely anything between them. Young Exeter Chiefs front row, though. Average age of 23. That's very young for a Premiership front row. They'll be tested today. Already heard David Flatman talking about the battle between Vunipola and Francis.
It's Big Billy, reduced to bystander at the moment, thanks to ankle trouble. I don't think it's too serious. He should be back next week with any luck. So it's a nudge from the Chiefs. Waldron, a little bit of fancy footwork there.
Just
having
a word with Chudley there, saying put it in a little bit straighter, please. Certainly on this side, Moon and Du Plessis, I think both going in at the angle.
Crouch!
Good refereeing, not just to guess. He's giving them the benefit of the doubt, have another look.
That's a free kick to Sarries.
Steady.
So that's a couple of occasions in which Exeter have been well placed on the pitch in terms of their territory and had to turn their backs and head into reverse. Hodgson sent this one really high. Towering kick from Hodgson. Itoje, little tap back. Picked up though by Francis. All 21 stone of him as he cruises over halfway. Ewers, Steenson, Hill. Ewers again. Always at the coalface. Moon, Hill, driven back hard in the tackle, goodness me. Uncompromising hit. Good work though from Sarries, and Wigglesworth sets off. Bosch digs it out. Mako Vunipola. Well, he'd fancy himself against Matt Jess on most days of the week. Good. Ray, and Ashton, and the touchline.
Absolutely superb hit from Berger. You could feel the crowd lift, and here's the hit. That patented face tackle that he makes. Ball comes out, good reactions from Duplessis as it comes out.
Your scrum half wasn't there to play it.
And then the whole of the crowd, you can see the Saracens players all lifting an opportunity to go off turnover ball.
Shouldn't think there's many people that would try and challenge the patented face tackle, Ben.
Scrum half.
But we don't need a patent for it. Just keep doing it.
Over ball transferred.
That line-out didn't look terribly straight, I must say, from Cowan Dickey, but Exeter aren't complaining. They're heading up towards the Sarries 22.
Two Exeter players in the ground. Two Exeter players in the ground.
And they haven't made best use of it.
Itoje there, absolutely brilliant. They were in a dreadful position, Saracens, going backwards, but he managed to guide the two front Exeter players to ground, just help them down, ease them down, but without going down himself, painting a good picture to the referee that it was the Exeter players that had gone down, not him. And then once they'd gone down, he came back. Look at him, he's right at the back there, he's swimming his way through. Drops the two players with the work of Berger as well, and look, then he comes back in, straight in, targets the ball carrier at the back. Turnover ball.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
It's a surge here from Exeter, who look to be on the back foot, but the penalty has gone the way of the home side.
Exeter 1.
It's the referee's assistant that's given that for the loose head. Ben Moon going around the outside of Petrus Duplessis. Both of them going in at a bit of an angle, and when Duplessis goes in, he's being lifted. It's the second scrum that his head's popped out. The assistant saying illegally so.
Looked to me there, Ben, like Moon lost the hit. There's not much of a hit nowadays, but...
Don't fill it forward.
Wigglesworth. Just outside the 22, very good from McGuigan. Filling in for Phil Dolman, Namibian-born fullback, picked up from the Bay of Plenty. Looking to win himself another contract for next season with the Chiefs. Slade.
Not forward, hey, hooker. 7.
Ashton in space. Good. Given too many options there, but over halfway. Cruz to Mako Vunipola, who can wreak such havoc in those close confines. Bosch. Jamie George has seen the hole, and he's really stepping on the gas. Brilliant! Bosch, Ashton, classy. The winger takes the plaudits. It was the hooker who made all the running.
An absolutely brilliant try. And Jamie George, what a season he's had. Good initial break, the ball gets knocked down. Speed to react from Berger, comes through the hands, there's a bit of an overlap, they start to drift too early, the fen comes out, and then the ball back inside. Bosch is aware that he's got Ashton in support as well. Quality score.
His 15th in all the competitions this season. Chris Ashton is 9th in the Premiership, and that strike rate is just exceptional, isn't it? Always in the right place and dotting it down under the sticks, making it the easiest of conversions. 7 points to 3, quarter of an hour gone.
Yeah, it's brilliant acceleration as well. Once he sees the gap, there's no hesitation, goes through, aware that all the pressure's going to come back on his inside, so he just sticks that long arm fend in into the throat, controls the defender, which means he can put the perfect offload back inside.
Another outstanding gather from Maro Itoje. The youngsters beginning to really show their quality, aren't they? The Saracens ranks, the likes of Itoje, Jamie George, George Cruz.
It's inside.
They're growing their own very successfully. And Wigglesworth's clearance is a good one. Jamie George's season, stellar really. Had to step up when Scott Brits was injured early on, out for the best part of 6 months. But he's learnt from the very best, Ben, hasn't he? From Scott Brits, from John Smith as well. A few better mentors.
Yeah, I remember him saying in an interview last year just how good those two have been with him as well. Sharing absolutely everything, developing him. That's one of the strengths of Saracens of a club. That competition for places is there, but there's also that assistance.
7.
Again, Berger picked.
Good result for Exeter, that. Exactly the sort of comeback they wanted. Dealt with things, good drive at the line out, win the penalty.
Just looking back to that try in a second, it's very difficult when you've got front rowers defending it when you're short of numbers, because they don't really know what to do. If you watch Moon, what he does is he goes forward too quick. Jess has already been signalling for him to back off. He doesn't want him to go forward, he wants to fill the space on the inside. Watch Jess, he stops and backs off, but Moon hasn't got the pace. It's not a very big hole, but it's all to do with the angle of the defensive runner.
Nice ball for the Chiefs to work with here as Waldron approaches the 22. Cowan-Dickey, really flat for Sam Hill. Oh, he picked that up well. Bosch was right on top of him, operating in a very cluttered area. Much more promising this, though, for Exeter. Thomas Francis getting in on the act. Ewers. Arm alongside him. Pops up for Chudley. Again, it's Waldron with the offload as well. Mitch Lees pumps the legs. Moon fancies a crack at it. Pressure building. Dean Mumm.
I just think the Chiefs are losing a few opportunities here, but not reorganising quickly enough in attack. Having to go with the pick and go one more time than they probably would have wanted.
Tackle 5, let go.
To take care of the ball here, Saracens relish these kind of situations in a twisted sort of way. This is what they pride themselves on, holding the line. It is perilously close as far as they're concerned now. Slade and Waldron, who's been scoring for fun this season, has he got another? He's very close.
Use it.
Dean Mumm again. Yeah, more black shirts surrounding him.
Tackle, release.
Round they go. Cowan-Dickey. Think he's made it. Great response from Exeter. Just after conceding, their young hooker has come up with the goods.
I said the Chiefs, a bit slow to reorganise, probably picked and went one more time than they would have wanted. Actually, the Chiefs are the best in the business at it. And they show there, perhaps they don't reorganise because they know what's coming. And the pick and go, after the initial bust, the leg drive, they're in behind. Again, offload out the tackle, they're keeping going down the same channel. The pick and go comes, and then shorter numbers on that blind side. They've only got Wigglesworth there. He's no match, a metre out for the power of Cowan-Dickey.
Yeah, Saracens found Kelly Brown on the floor and Jack Berger, both trying to get the ball There's an opportunity there to try and turn it over. Both the guys went for it, left them short on the blind side. And that guy, after taking an absolutely mammoth tackle off Berger, gets his reward.
Tough conversion for Steenson. But that is why he is the sharpest shooter in the Premiership. Operating at just a nudge below 90% from the tee this season. And every single point matters back in front.
Just see Duplessis there, just edging in. He needed to stay strong at guard and go forward. He started edging towards behind the breakdown.
That's the table as it stands right now, with Exeter ahead of Saracens on points difference between 4th and 5th. Tricky one for McGuigan, who he held that well. Wouldn't sit up for him, and the wind has taken that back in field by the looks of things. Hodgson. Again, held up in the wind. Chudley feeds it on to Waldrum at full throttle. This has worked out nicely for Exeter. Mitch Lees. Ben White. He's had to sit out the last couple through concussions as well. There's been a lot of it about, but Itoje standing for no nonsense on that gain line. And they run the turnover ball as George Cruz flops on it gratefully. Vunipola, overlap out here. Good. Wiles. Strattle. What an offload that was. Chris Wiles will scream in for another. It's been his kind of season, but we're going to need to see that offload again.
I think
Strattle producing the magic.
Oh, it was brilliant play, but I think it's just forward.
All started from Itoje. What a hit it was. And then he gets back to his feet, kicks it through the ruck, and gives him the opportunity to attack out wide. This is going to be close, Ben.
It is, it's out the back door. He was going at full pace, which might work in his favour.
Oh, I think that's okay.
Angle. I think you're right,
that's okay. His hands sort of wraps back around the ball.
Look at the line as well.
Speed it up, speed it up, speed it up.
That's okay.
I
that's
think
a try.
momentum, that's a try.
I'm comfortable with that, okay?
You're totally convinced by that, Ben?
Yeah, he's going pretty quick.
I think so, because of the momentum rule.
Grounding as well, just the feet.
I think the ball goes backwards. It's just that Strettle's at full tilt.
And the next stride, he's in touch.
Yeah.
Just check the grounding here as well.
There we go. You may award the try.
No problem with that. And there's confirmation from JP Doyle. It's Chris Wiles' 12th of the season in the Premiership. It's been an irresistible form, and they're the beneficiary of Dave Strettle's trickery.
What a start to the game. The pace is high. We're seeing collisions and some fantastic skill.
What about that? The master at work. Measured beautifully.
Just look how narrow Exeter have got, though, because they're trying to play down that same channel. They get very narrow, which means, as a defender, you can fly up, you can make the big turnover hit, because you're not worrying about having numbers on the outside. They make the turnover, and we all know the best time to attack is off turnover ball when the opposition are in disarray. Saracens take full advantage.
Change at 9 for Mark McCall's side for the time being. Neil de Kock is on. Richard Wigglesworth is having a head injury assessment.
Once.
24 points inside 22 minutes. Not bad going.
Caught by 13.
Fine take from Henry Slade in a very congested area. Dean Mumm heading home to Australia, of course, but in No great hurry. He'd dearly love to extend this season by a couple of weeks. Steenson to Cowan-Dickey, Exeter's try scorer. Slade through Hodgson. Ewers just had to check his run there, and as a result the tackle from Bosch was made that bit easier. Chudley, Waldrum again. All of this from a standing start at the moment. They need some momentum. They need to be hitting the ball at pace around the ruck. Moon. Steenson from a long, long way out, gets nowhere near. And it's a tricky bounce for Good, who is sensing an opportunity, and so is Strattle. Loves an adventure from within the 22. Stop just behind the 10-metre line.
Use it.
That's Good, calling in more numbers. Just for security's sake. Cowan-Dickey rolls out of the washing machine. Hodgson, again against the wind, remember, quite a strong breeze. Slade trying to use it. De Kock. Good. George. Mako Vunipola. Ewers takes him round the shoulders.
Use it.
Hodgson down the middle. That's a wobbler for Steenson to gather in. He spotted some space in there, but he hasn't quite found the area he was hoping for. Just a quick double take from Charlie Hodgson. Let's have a word with Rob Baxter, the Exeter Chiefs Director of Rugby. Rob, a terrific match so far, full of open, adventurous running. What's your take on the opening 25 minutes?
I'm really pleased with our attitude. I think our attitude is bang on what we asked the players to come and give, which is masses of energy. We knew we'd have to be physical in our attack and the way we carried, and I think we've done that extremely well. I'm a little frustrated and disappointed with our reaction to getting into defensive situations. The first thing we got wrong was really in phase play, where we just didn't get away from a blind side and we let our open side defence be narrow. Just that reaction to moving away from being the attacking team to being the defensive side, and then off a rather soft turnover, it took us a long time to get out of a blind side and away from the first breakdown to give ourselves any width. So really defensively, we've been a little bit poor, and like I said, our reaction that time there needs to speed up a little bit. But I think we're given an awful lot of energy. I think we've come here to play a big part in a big game of rugby, and as I said, I'm confident if we can just tidy a couple of things up, that we can keep this game very interesting for ourselves.
You sense there will be opportunities, plenty of them, the way this match is unfolding. Perhaps not the traditional way that Saracens have been playing. Certainly, it's kind of, would I suggest, suiting your style rather more than theirs, potentially?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest, because I think the problem with it is that when you look at Saracens' counter-attacks, they've been successful because we've shown them that space, we've shown them those areas, and they've taken them. I think what we have to do is, you can make Saracens drop back in traditional Saracens play by putting a brick wall in front of them. And that's what we haven't done yet. We've got to get that brick wall built if we want this game to kind of go to plan.
Thanks for your time, Rob. Waldrum trying to escape the clutches of Itoje, who seems to be everywhere this afternoon. And Ewers snared by Ashton, and they're driving in hard here in the tackles, as you would expect the Paul Gustard-Marshall defence to do. Chudley goes high. McGuigan trying to find a passage through. De Kock has taken it.
Two.
It's not a bad delivery from Jamie George either. Slade, oh dear. Maybe just out of the corner of his eye, spotted the defender heading his way.
Yeah, he's taken some good ones today, under real pressure. It's probably one of the easier catches Berger had eased off, but he knew he was coming for the big hit. Maybe he just took the eye away.
Time off.
Guys, you mentioned about Itoje and his work rate, but I know all the talk was about the try out wide, but just look how he picks out. He knows exactly where the ball's going. It's going to Jesse, comes in, he makes a great tackle out of the line, so he's in front of all the defenders now. Then he gets to his feet, right in the middle of all that pressure, and sends his right foot through, kicks the ball, it pops out, and then the wide guys, well, we do what we do. We take all the credit, all the praise for finishing a try, but it all stemmed from this ability.
It's that pop back to his feet, isn't it, that's important. Yes, it was a big hit, but often people just stay down there on top of the man, straight back to his feet, and then trying to own the space, get right past the ball, not worry about the ball initially. It's only when it comes back through the legs that he plays it with his foot.
Some future ahead for Maro Itoje. Of course, led Saracens to their LV Cup triumph earlier in the season, beating the Exeter Chiefs in the process in that final.
Crouch.
Just a short time ago, he was leading
Sit.
England's junior under-20 side to victory in the World Championship. So he's come a very long way in a very short space of time, and Sarries are reaping the benefit.
Scrum.
Pick up from Hodgson. Bosch. Good. Ashton. Shepherded by Jess. That inside ball has caused trouble for lots and lots of teams this season, but that's gone forwards.
14 to 15.
You see them working on it all the time. They get wide, they know exactly what's going to happen. They're not going to run into touch, they're going to put the ball back inside on the floor. They're very skilled, both Ashton and Strettel, at that little grubber in.
Just looking how flat they are to try and get the ball wide, stationary, just through the hands to try and get it out there as quickly as possible. And then, as you said, I was looking for that ball back on the inside.
He just wants one more bounce there, Ashton. He gets on the second bounce, which is rare, the ball to pop straight in the air. He gets that third bounce when it's rolling. It's really difficult then to readjust your feet as a defender.
Looks good, didn't like it, but I think it went forwards from Marcello Bosch in amongst the melee there. Wigglesworth restored.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Sarries, remember, just beaten the once here this season. Northampton back in November. Oldham under pressure. Hill is there to help out. Again, Itoje making a menace of himself over the ball, and he's nicked it. Here they come. Cruz, Bosch. Wigglesworth for delay. George. Itoje. Not this time. Hodgson. Wiles caught in possession. Hodgson. Wide to Strattle. That's his flank. That's his corner. He's heading towards it. Jamie George crashes into Sam Hill. Sarri's turn now to pile on the heat. Hodgson. Good. Wiles. Wigglesworth. There was half a hole there, he knew it. Momentum is continued though through Mako Vunapola.
Use it.
10th phase of possession. Patience all the time. Hodgson. Loose. And taken in by Witten. Some sharp thinking from the Chiefs winger. Chudley. Bosch chasing back and being shepherded by McGuigan, who can't quite cling on.
Just a little glance over the shoulder from Bosch, but they've turned it over again.
Chudley drives it Back down inside the Sarries 22. He's got a kindly bounce as well.
You see the difference of interpretation of a turnover, though. 2 great turnovers for Exeter, and the first inclination is kick both of the turnovers. Sarries have scored 2 tries off 2 great turnovers, and it's a wonderful time to get real width on your game. Exeter have come here with a game plan, though. They've got the wind behind them. Be interesting to see that if they do that in the second half from the turnovers, because he won't be able to gain as much territory.
So there's the as it stands table. Yet again, Saracens, by dint of leading by 4 points here at the moment, up in 3rd, Leicester 4th, Exeter down in 5th. Remember, Sarries win, denying Exeter a bonus point, sorts the top 4. Saints, Bath, Sarries and Leicester, but Exeter are not even entertaining that notion right here, right now.
It's off the knee.
A little bit of fortune, because that looked forwards, but JP Doyle's happy it was off the knee. Cowan-Dickey, brute force, getting him up to the 5-metre line. Dave Ewers now trying to step through the bodies. Still they drive hard.
Onside 9, good man.
One more powerful surge might just do it here for the Chiefs.
So lethal around this area, aren't they? They're all gathered there. Even Henry Slade has been playing first receiver so much. He knows it's not coming out. Game of break the barrier. We can get that extra metre. The leg drive. The likes of Ewers, Waldron.
You can see Cruz there clinging on to the ankles. Just making sure that not even a further centimetre is gained.
Arrive up now, Exeter.
Sarries at full stretch, and the line broken. Sarries yet again coming up with a response down on the scoreboard. That's their second of their afternoon. And the man at the bottom of the heap is Thomas Waldron, 15th try of the season.
Yeah, guess who? He's so lethal, particularly at this skill. Cowan-Dickey first to react. Good charge, the step through the middle, and he comes round the corner. He's the man carrying again, bumps off Brown. They're in behind. Saracens start to panic the closer they get to the line. And then really, Berger needs to go forward really and hinge in there. Because although Itoje goes and makes the tackle, because Waldron comes on the outside line, all he needs is an extra 1 or 2 steps before he can be put to ground, and he'll dot the ball over.
So the Chiefs nosing ahead by 3, with half-time bearing down on us.
Yeah, great view. Just look how he goes on the outside line. The work of the 2 men on his outside. Slade in there. Just the extra couple of yards he can give by holding that man up.
Ball through, back bounce forward.
The season Thomas Waldron has had. So again, more changes in the as it stands table. Exeter into 4th place, and a Chiefs win today makes life very tasty, basically. It effectively means that Saints and Bath will remain as the only 2 qualified for the playoffs, and those 3 clubs, Leicester, Exeter and Sarries, will still be scrapping it out for the final 2 slots as we head to the final round next Saturday. 3 o'clock, 2 games live on BT Sport to be decided. Sarries, of course, are up against London Welsh next week, or away from home. That's gone forwards from the restart. Exeter have Sale at home. And the West Country derby might just carry a little bit of extra spice with Bath up against Gloucester at the Rec. That could have a direct bearing on things. Bath, of course, qualified, but not knowing yet whether they're at home in the playoff semi-final.
That was much better last one.
Rugby Tonight is tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and we have a couple of special guests for you. George North and the Vunipola brothers will both be there live in the studio from 8 o'clock tomorrow.
I think one will be slightly more tired than the other tomorrow. To the stint he's putting in today. There's a lot of pressure at scrum time there. His ability to carry, though, near to the line his low centre of gravity. It makes him very difficult to stop. You look at him physically and you think he's not as powerful as someone like Ewers, but in a lot of ways he's a lot harder to stop as a ball carrier. It's almost secured that leading try scorer of the season now, you'd say, wouldn't you?
I reckon he might be there. Neil Back, of course, scored 16 back in 98-99. That's the most scored by a forward in the Premiership. Dominic Chapman holds the record with 17 for Richmond back in the day. And Alex Good not terribly happy with that bounce.
He's struggled a bit, hasn't he, Alex Good, at the back. Just the sun causing problems last minute as he goes for the ball.
One of those who's played in 5 Premiership semi-finals for Saracens and ever present at the back. Toji with the line-out ball. Ian Whitton. No Jack Noel in the line-up today. Wow, Whitton, like an Exeter missile, tearing up that right wing to make the tackle. And here goes Alex Good.
Advantage over.
Hodgson, oh, little juggle. Jackson Ray runs into Mitch Lees and Ben White.
Turnover 7.
And the Chiefs have it.
Advantage knocked on.
Chudley, Whitton.
Advantage over.
Steenson. Big gap in there, in behind Ashton. Very clever little kick. And it's just gone a couple of revolutions too many for Steenson's liking.
Yeah, really nice kick. Saw the space, just so unfortunate. 2 yards back, and this is a perfect coffin corner kick.
From the tackle.
You see the chase coming out wide. This would really isolate Good. He'd have to either clear his line or take contact. So unlucky.
You had the ball and you ran 30 yards.
On a regular pitch, that almost certainly would have stopped in advance of the try line,
It's
wouldn't
up
it?
to you to play it or
Don't
not.
know, do you? But I think Exeter are really good value for their lead at the minute. Nice power, good control. But for 2 long-range tries from Saracens, could have this game well and truly wrapped up.
Brilliant gather from Strettle, who's shaking off the defenders over the 10-metre line. He's got a little bit of a point to prove. He's had to sit out quite a few matches recently. There's a clever one for Ashton to chase. And McGuigan has got himself in a right tangle. Chiefs have worked very hard to secure that. Ewers, with that crooked back of his, drills his way forwards.
Yes. Use it. Yeah, ball's out, you're right.
Chudley's clearance is a decent one. Alex Good. He's gliding through the tackles at the moment. Itoji, Chiefs need to muscle up here. Polar. Dragged down by Dean Mumm. Hodgson. Such a pleasing flow to this game at the moment.
Well, the Exeter forwards are out on their feet on this side of the field, so they've done well with the limited numbers they had. The Exeter bench screaming at their players to get round the corner, follow the ball, not stand in midfield and get a breather. The boys out wide do the job. Shake of the head from the big boss.
Plenty to chew on for Rob Baxter. That's his bench lying in wait there. We'll be looking to launch the likes of Jack Yandel. Damien Welch, who's had plenty of time out this season with injury. But
I think you've dropped there, sir.
one of those who is entirely reliable in the second row. Gives them that extra dynamism. Max Bodilli, the youngster, we may see him at fullback a little later in the piece, making his Premiership debut. Another of the young talents off the production line.
Just wonder, it is a relatively hot day here, but that pitch holds an enormous amount of heat. I was speaking to some of the players last year when the first time they got to play it in the sun, and it does drain you. As soon as the break in play there, the water bottles were on. Every single player chugging down as much of the stuff as they could. Might play a factor later on.
Troubles they were no doubt dreaming about back in November.
Crouch. Fine. Sit.
So perhaps the last play here. JP Doyle on the whistle.
Crouch.
Key scrum for the Chiefs. They've been under a bit of pressure
Sit.
the last few. Saracens feeling like just getting an edge. They don't want to give away 3 points here just before they go in for the half-time.
Sarries looking to squeeze out a late penalty here, and they've done just that.
One retreating on the outside.
And Ben Moon edging on the outside, all the weight going through Mako Vunapola's side. He's staying as straight as he can, breaks the bind to try and keep going forward. Just gets that head going towards the try line. Very difficult for Moon to do anything but go on the outside.
A fitting finish to the half, which draws the scores level. It's been open, it's been thoroughly entertaining. Very, very tight. 2 tries apiece. Ashton and Wiles for Saracens, Cowan-Dickey and Waldrum for Exeter. All the half-time analysis to come very shortly. 17 all at Allianz Park. For the top 4 end of season jamboree. If they deny Exeter a bonus point in the process, then Leicester will also qualify. But an Exeter win of any kind means that all 3 clubs, Sarries, Leicester and Exeter, will have to wait until next Saturday to decide things. And the 3 important fixtures we'll tell you about in just a moment. The wind is a factor, a significant factor. It is going to be blowing in the Exeter Chiefs' faces in this second half. They were able to make the most of it in that opening 40, but that will now be to Saracens' benefit.
That could be huge, couldn't it? I think they'll have to change their game plan. Because early on, in those first 40 minutes, they were playing the territorial game really well and then relying on picking and going through the middle. Didn't have much width to their game. They might have to change that for the second half.
So a really enthralling first 40 minutes, which perhaps fittingly, given the weather, the fact that we've got a firm surface and 2 sides for whom there is so much at stake, produced quite a show. Next weekend, remember, Saracens are away to London Welsh, and with all respect to the Exiles, you would expect a big Sarries win there to put them in pole position for the playoffs. Exeter have Sale at home. Leicester are up against Northampton at Welford Road in, well, another intriguing contest, given that they may well be pitted against each other in the playoffs as well. What kind of sides might they put out for that one as Sarries pour forwards right at the start of this second half? Wigglesworth happily, no damage done after his head injury assessment early in the first half. Here's Jackson Ray. Bosch. seeking opportunities and offloads, and Steenson intercepts. McGuigan, not for the first time today, is in a little bit of trouble. Thankfully, enough of his friends are nearby. Dave Ewers just trying to snatch an extra metre or two. They do like a drive and a bit of a maul if they possibly can to try and extricate themselves from deep within their own 22, the Chiefs.
Good discipline.
And Chudley puts it safely away. Let's have a word from Martin Bayfield. Babes, what news from the touchline?
Well, Ali, both teams are pretty happy with the way things are progressing. Saracens realise they've got to try and master the Exeter pick and go. They're relying on one man making the tackle. They've got to make it a little bit more of a team effort. They realise they've got to use the wind, and crucially, because of the temperatures, the substitutions come the end of the game might be crucial. For Exeter, they've got to react to what they call the transitions. When they've got the ball, they lose it. They have to react quicker to the ball squirting off this pitch.
Thanks, Babes. Wigglesworth just couldn't quite get it away for Strettle, and Exeter have it again. And once more, it's the African muscle of Dave Ewers who's making headway.
Back man of the ruck.
Driven on this
Advantage
time by
over.
Waldrum, stealing an extra yard or three. Chudley has had to measure those very carefully because the Saracens defenders right on top of him. Good for Ray, straightening. Cowan-Dickey cuts him down. Wigglesworth. Vunapola. Real pace and momentum about the Saracens' play since the break. McGuigan. Nice little jink. No way past George Cruz there.
That's taken back.
Steenson against the wind. Just a little dab in the air this time from Good, and a double whammy from Exeter. Waldron having a little bit of assistance. Lease.
Not the 9, let him go.
Toji looking to disrupt things. Oh, that's one little dart too many from Maro Itoje. He had the warning, he couldn't quite resist it.
But I think had he just come through and done that initially, he probably would have got away with it, just focused on the ball. But his first act was to touch the scrum half. After that, you've almost got to say, sorry, ref, and get on with it there. You can't put your hand on the scrum half. The referee warns him, but because there's no advantage, he's got to give the penalty.
Yeah, it's important to point out, isn't it, because it's changed not that long ago that the scrum half actually has to lift the ball from the ground before you can play him. It's no good if the ball remains on the ground. So I told you, just
perfectly entitled to kick it, because you can kick the ball, just not allowed to play the scrum half.
Sam Hill drives up the middle. He's been providing a point of attack for much of the season, and I guess in all the talk about Henry Slade, we forget about the quality that Hill has brought. It's a knock-on, I think, by the looks of things.
Picked it up on the ground, okay. Scrum advantage, Saracens. Yeah, it's fine. Make sure you angle straight.
Dickey, the guilty party.
Push on. So push him back if you want.
One of the try scorers in the opening half. Another big performance from Dave Ewers and Thomas Waldrum. What an acquisition. I think they used him well as well, given that he was used very sparingly by Leicester last season. I think just 6 starts for the Tigers last season before he headed down to Sandy Park.
He's just one of those players that he plays differently to a lot of number 8s because of his size and stature. You think he's going to be one of those traditional gnarly number 8s. He's not. He's all about his ball carrying, his eye for an opportunity,
and a biscuit.
And you said that, not me, but I will tell him afterwards.
No, he loves his biscuits. And why not? But you play like that every week.
You have to adapt your style of play, because he's not going to do, if you're expecting him to be competing at every breakdown, doing all the defensive stuff. He's not necessarily going to do that. A bit like Saracens have had in the past with Scott Brits.
He's a really clever player as well, and they try and get him in positions where he can do stuff. Just have a quick look at this box kick. It's a fake box kick from Chudley. Look at Chudley, he gets in position, he thinks, and now Waldron says, no, I've seen a gap, let me have a go. And he's a clever, smart rugby player. He sees those opportunities and works ways of, well, scoring tries for himself, really.
Crouch.
He has a knack, doesn't he, though, as well, of just popping up in the right place at the right time. It's all part of the rugby smartness, I guess, reading the game well. He slotted in quite beautifully. Wigglesworth, that's knocked on. Happy with himself.
Good bit of late scrum pressure coming on. It means that George has to swing his leg at it, comes back on the strike quicker than he would have wanted to, and much quicker than this man would have wanted it to.
Just looking at the attacking options now for Exeter, I know this scrum will probably end in a penalty, but when you've got someone of Slade's ability on the blind side there, playing on the left-hand side, he has a great way of taking the ball all the way to the line. You've got to expect to try and get a left shoulder here and use his side to attack.
Chudley down that short side. Witten for Jess. Hasn't had much opportunity to run with a ball this afternoon so far, Matt Jess. Oof. Jacques Berger again making his presence felt. This is looking for a moment like it might have troubled Saracens.
Tell you what, I'd love to see a show reel of Berger's tackles today. There have been some monster hits, all different types as well, around chest level. And then if you want a more perfect example of a chop tackle, watch this.
Time off.
There's the initial break. Carrier good to explode off the touchline, making sure he can't get taken in, tying in a lot of black shirts. Then look at this for a chop tackle. The pace is good, in at the knees. There's no way Waldron can use his good footwork to get around him as he gets him man and ball.
He sees him coming, doesn't he? Takes his eyes off the ball a little bit, finds the ball on the wrong side of his body.
Time on.
Fair play to him, actually. It's a good thing if you see Jacques Berger coming. It's a bad thing if you don't.
I'm not sure it's a good thing that you know he's coming either, though. It's probably a bad thing either way you look at it. What's happened there?
Have a look at it. I want to have a look at it.
JP Doyle is going to have another look at something here.
I think it's Maro Itoje coming through after the kick, but
I don't want to have a look at that.
JP, you want to have a look at
certainly
the
didn't finish off completely. Thought he'd done a good job of getting out of the way.
I want to see if he had a realistic chance of ever getting there, and then I want to see if he'd actually taken off before the kick was made. Okay.
Do it in real time.
Real time, yeah. So does he have a realistic chance of blocking it down? Yes. Does he have a realistic chance?
Yeah, they're already taken off.
Okay.
He'll be happy with
Agreed.
that, JP. Really good refereeing to tell the TMO what he was looking for. Has he taken off before the kick was made? Yes, he has. We're fine with that.
Good to see that shown at full speed as well. It's another of those that slowed down, could have looked a little different. Plenty of situations we've had this season where that's been the case. So a little look at the table as it stands again, with just over half an hour to go. And Exeter at the moment down in 5th place, but a reminder that a draw today doesn't confirm either Saracens or Exeter in the playoffs. It will still go to next Saturday in that instance, whether they score bonus points today or not. Scott Brits is on, and so too is James Jugston.
Still finding his feet a little bit, Scott Brits, since his return from injury. It's been a bundle of energy, not quite the force we've seen him in the past, but a good time for him to bring that form out now. Another hit from Berger.
Use it! Advantage over, knock on.
Chudley. Started this season, remember, Will Chudley is the 3rd choice scrum half for the Chiefs. made that possession his own. Jackson Ray claiming it for Saracens. This is more traditional Sarries fare, with Wigglesworth pumping it inside the 22. Returned with interest.
No.
Chudley finding McGuigan. Slade. Oh, that was clever. Strettle had to check and slide.
One of those times the forwards have given up. They're all just stood waiting for the backs to stop kicking in midfield. Might have a go here.
That's where McGuigan was hoping for it to land, certainly, and Good and Ashton are trying to make him pay for it. Forwards from Chiefs. Toji just pauses for a minute. And Brits tries to continue the motion. Back we go.
I think you tried to catch it. So I'm saying knock on.
Well, it's from a kick as well, so it's not the same as trying to charge down a pass or putting your hand out in front. He goes to chip it. I don't know why Ashton doesn't just gas on the outside there. He's undoubtedly got the pace to go around the outside of Waldron. Charge down. It's fine, it's from a kick. You can do whatever you want there. You can slap it down to the floor if you want.
Owen Farrell about to make his bow this afternoon. Now, the interesting question will be who is replacing. It is going to be Hodgson. And warm applause for a man who has been terrific throughout this campaign. In his 15th season in the top flight, a hatful of points. He has steered Sarries to within touching distance of the playoffs, and for long periods, of course, Owen Farrell has been missing, and he's been really struggling to get back to even peak training form in recent weeks. He's been a frustrated man. He's had a very tough time of it. I'm sure ultimately in the long run he'll feel it's made him a stronger character, but he will have his eyes set firmly on that World Cup spot, let alone the playoffs in the immediate future. And he will feel like he needs to make up some time. Final games live on BT Sport next Saturday at 3 o'clock. 2 of them on separate channels to be decided, but you can have a fair guess at which ones we're looking at for sure. Wiles crashes over the 10-metre line. Kelly Brown. Just a short pause, which actually worked out nicely for him. Quickly from Ray to Brits. Sam Hill. Mako Vunapola. Power runners coming at them thick and fast at the moment here for the Chiefs' defence. Jackson Ray nearly free. Quickly from Farrell. And into reverse gear. Good. Slips past Jess. Slips past Hill. Flings it wide for Brits. Lovely offload to Wiles. He's going to back himself. McGuigan made the tackle. It needs a second one from Mitch Lees. Out it comes again. What a pickup from Ashton. Flung it back in field and was enveloped by white shorts. Excuse me, Dave Struggle. That was another terrific bit of handling and very nearly managed to keep it alive.
Yeah, Ashton was screaming for the ball on the other wing, a crossfield kick. That's a poor clearance though, he might get it. Bosch swings it wide, Ashton wants it. He's already knocked one today. Should he have gone wide? They have the penalty. They will feel they should have had much, much more. Temper's running high.
11 roll. It's a penalty.
It's Marcel Bosch who's flat out on the floor. Lovely footwork both from Good and then Brits, the offload inside. Unfortunately, Wigglesworth couldn't get free of the support, so Wiles holds on. As you said, lovely handling on. He was going into touch, needed to go. That was the one that might have gone out to Ashton for a crossfield kick. Here he gets the ball. Does he just put the afterburners on? goes back, looks for the traffic, tries to step his way through. I think the ball actually gets caught behind him slightly, which affected his balance of his run. But with his pace, surely he should have gone for the corner, Oz.
Well, I think Cowan Dickey did exactly the right thing. He just turned his own burner's small flame on and went as fast as he could to the touchline in the hope that it put Ashton off, and he did enough to make him step back on the inside. I personally don't think that is a yellow card. I think he's gone in there and competed legitimately. So it'll be interesting to see how the outcome of this folds. But I think he's done very, very well there for a hooker, finding himself wide out against an international class winger. He stopped an almost certain try.
I think you're right about the yellow card, Oz. Even if it's a penalty, there are times where you give away a penalty. A yellow card really should be for those professional fouls where you've done it deliberately. We see so many penalties where you'd compete that hard and you might get it slightly wrong. So often, 5 metres out, we see the referees automatically go for a yellow.
Marcelo Bosch is heading off for a head injury assessment, I think, by the looks of things, and Nick Tompkins is coming on in his place. And in the meantime, Owen Farrell is lining up this to take the lead. Farrell drives Saracens in front. Still anxious times for the likes of Nigel Ray and the Saracens supporters. They still have plenty to do. As Marcelo Bosch heads off down the tunnel, and Jack Yendall has replaced Luke Cowan-Dickey at hooker for Exeter. Rimmer is also onto the field at loose head for Ben Moon. Okay, so a whole new front row for Rob Baxter, Alex Brown on for Thomas Francis, and we've got Itoje moving to the back row now with Alistair Hargreaves on and Kelly Brown making way. Good. He's juggled with a few today. Farrell. Wigan.
7!
Penalty coming Chiefs' way.
7, same as the first half, sliding in.
What a brilliant rip from Itoje. I know the penalty was already given. Targets the ball, took it in one movement there. We saw the work rate of Launchbury yesterday when he came onto the field. It was phenomenal for a second row. I'd probably say he's matched largely by Itoje. It's a real plethora now, isn't there, of second rows for Stuart Lancaster. It's not like in Ben's day where there was nobody really where he had to get picked. Nowadays, there's so many good second rows knocking around.
The default selection, Ben Kay.
Well, Oz would have seen some of the options on the bench while he was sat there.
Yeah, really good to see Itoje advancing and Launchbury excelling yesterday, his first game back. Ed Slater, of course, as well, back in the mix. It's probably the area of greatest strength for Stuart Lancaster at the moment, second row.
Use it!
Exeter needing again to come up with an answer to some of the questions that Sarries are posing. It's been nibbled at, and Saracens are celebrating. Remember, any kind of win today for them qualifies them for the end of season playoffs. Exeter not out of it if they get the losing bonus point. Go to the final weekend for them, but this time
There's no freebies, just get on and get doing it.
Dave Ewers on the wrong side of the whistle. Saracens in third.
Crouch.
Exeter down in fifth as it stands. Wasps out of the playoff mix.
Sit.
They lost to the Tigers yesterday. We're still not absolutely sure of their Champions Cup qualification, although they've all but done it, as have the Chiefs. Here is Alex Good. And a very decent clearance. Damien Welch and Kai Horseman.
Time on. Let's go.
So the bench slowly but surely being employed by Rob Baxter. Ben White and Mitch Lees making way. It's all of his spare forwards now employed.
Stay 10, in or out.
Horseman hands on the ball
Block
immediately.
in. Captain.
That's
block
illegal.
in. On you.
And Dean Mum has been singled out.
You're right on his back. You're right on the back.
Just getting caught, taking the space a little bit
There's
too
your mark.
early.
Behind him.
Farrell's going to have a go at this from the halfway line, 15 metres in from touch.
He's the lifter behind. He's very unlucky there, isn't he? Because it's Itoje who makes the contact. And I think they're straight. I think
Arms up, you're okay.
he responds to Itoje hitting him by stepping into the Saracen and taking the space, but it's a very, very harsh penalty, that.
So a 49-metre effort, this one, for Owen Farrell. Wind behind him, but not directly behind him, I would suggest, judging from the way the flags are being tugged at. Wide this time. Worth a shot. Definitely worth a shot, given the way this match has been, the very tight nature of it. So just about 20 minutes to go.
Yandel does really well here on the kick chase. Secondary in, makes the tackle, rolls back to his feet, goes right through the middle of the ruck into Wigglesworth. Really nice play. Exactly what you want, sort of impact you want from your senior players.
A hefty thump from the boot of Steenson. Takes the Chiefs up to the 22. Let's have a quick word with Alex Sanderson, the Saracens assistant coach. Al, this is far from done as yet, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of the game left, but we'd like to think with the win advantage, we'd have a bit more of a territorial advantage in this second half, which we haven't had because we've let them out of jail really through our ill discipline, as you've just seen there. Ill discipline that we showed 2 weeks ago you can't afford to have in games of this magnitude against sides like Exeter or Northampton.
It's been remarkably open. Certainly the first half was full of adventure from both sides. Were you expecting that?
Maybe not as much, but because of the wind, you know, most of the ball we got from the first half was counter-attack ball, and thankfully our back three looked mega sharp today on what is always a hard track here at Allianz Park. Unfortunately, this half the offloads haven't stuck for us, so maybe there's just that expectation where we're trying to score the try, perhaps that phase or two too early. I think ball retention is the key for us in this half. Keep them down in their territory, keep the ball for long periods of time, and hopefully we'll win penalties and squeeze the game out in that fashion.
Yeah, into the last 20, more like cup rugby now.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Thanks for your time, Alex.
Cheers, mate.
Crouch!
So Sarries with possession here and a chance to dig themselves out of their 22.
No.
Such a big scrum, isn't it? A bit of crabbing.
Back to where we were.
Continue to drive straight my side.
Which guy?
A lot of new players in that front row. All wanting to stamp their authority on it.
Crouch!
Rimmer, Yendel and Brown now up against Vunipola, Brits and Johnston. And less solidity as a result as they look to bed in.
Yeah, as is often the case. You see it at the beginning of games, a lot of those free kicks given for going early. Players just getting carried away.
Wigglesworth has sent that long and over the 22. Secures the line out again, 100% for
once.
the Chiefs this afternoon, 10 from 10. Chudley. Jess is chasing it up that right wing, and nobody's claiming it. It's gone forwards from Saracens, and here's Ewers. Stopped by Jackson Ray.
Advantage over, knock on.
Great line speed again from Mark McCall's men as Steenson sends up a bomb to test out Good. Driven back hard in the tackle. Farrell.
Not forward.
Steenson. McGuigan can't find a way through. He wasn't happy about it. And Good makes the mark.
It's nervous, isn't it? It's all a bit safe at the moment for both sides. They don't want to be the team that makes the mistake.
All about field position right now. Into the last quarter of an hour or so. Playoff place tantalisingly out of reach. The Chiefs fans have had this on their minds for much of the season. A lot of pundits suggested they were going to have a tough season in this campaign. They've come storming through, surprised a lot of people, and built on everything that they had set in stone earlier on. Their transition from Championship side to Premiership contenders has been a remarkable story. But it isn't complete just yet. Brits is trying to make the best of things just outside the Sarries 22. Good.
Mind your head too. Ball available.
Suddenly the kick ratio has gone through the roof. Here's some more.
Don't run forward, guys. Okay.
It's a poor kick, isn't it? Easy mark. Well, it's good. Just sense the Chiefs just trying to get that field position to give them the opportunity for some tighter in play. Maybe force Saracens into mistake and then target the pick and goes around the breakdown.
So as it stands, Saracens with the win would qualify for the top four. Exeter would get the losing bonus point and take it to the final day where they play Sale at home.
5+1.
If they are denied a bonus point, the Exeter Chiefs, Leicester will qualify as well as Saracens, and we will have our top four. Forwards by Sarries.
Has the knock on from White.
Disintegrated this one as a spectacle,
It
certainly
has
for the
a little
time
bit,
being.
but certainly the change of Yandel coming on, the line-outs not been quite as sharp for the Chiefs. Again, a little bit nervy, a little bit of hesitation. If the hooker hesitates, it just takes the flight off the ball. It doesn't get as quite as high. It's going to be that smooth action.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Chiefs faithful in great voice still. Travelled in big numbers from the southwest. Tribe always make their presence felt with the tomahawk chop.
Just do it.
Right in behind their side.
Just bind.
Straight to work. Happy? Yes. Here we go, JJ. Straight to work, Brady.
Crouch!
Something Exeter from every match bar one in this campaign, which is going some. Just Bath at Christmas time, which got away from them. They've already equalled their record points tally. They're not satisfied with it. They are this close. They want more, hungry for more. And they have a penalty.
Vunipola always at an angle, really. And then on the far side, the Chiefs just edged it forward and left him hanging. Back five have to follow him around the corner, get the penalty of the Chiefs and an opportunity to kick into that corner. This is exactly the sort of opportunity they've been hanging out for during that kick tennis. Ability to build a drive, maybe a couple of phases off it, try and get in towards that 10 metres out area, and get that pick and go going, game going again.
Just required a slightly better kick, didn't it, from Steenson? Landed in the top tier of the big stand, and he just wants to go off the pitch there.
Damien Welch has claimed it.
We'll transfer that ball back on the inside of Yandel. Now it's in a better position. They need it at the back, though. There it is. It's a good drive. Waldron on it now. Need a bit of height at the bottom. Waldron breaks.
Another body or two there to continue the motion, and it comes from Horstman. 10 metres out. Witten stretching well wide on this right flank now, hugging the touchline. No sign yet that the forwards are happy to relinquish it. Horstman again.
Use it! Use it!
They're running the risk of trying JP Doyle's patience here if they don't.
He's very quick to say use it, though, isn't he? Giving them the full 5 seconds from when he calls it.
As I told you, being turned over, and Dean Mum assessing the options again. Ewers.
They need to keep going that same way if they can. Running out of defenders, but Jackson Ray really well in there.
Here's Ewers again, stretching. Just a little bit short. One more shove.
Should just target the post here. They may be able to get the ball grounded onto the post, and that's a try. They're going for the line. This one might be it.
Use it!
He's going for this shot. That's a try.
It's exactly what they've done. Bottom of the padding. Try awarded. The Chiefs back in front. And just look at what that means to them.
Well, Austin said he's a smart player. That's exactly what he was doing. He knew he just had to get it to the post. Thomas Waldron, the eye for the opportunity. He knew that it wasn't going to be able to be defended. Good initial drive. They spew out the first few defenders. Ewers carries, gets close. And then he's going solely for the base of that post. Try scored.
It's almost impossible to stop as well, because if you stand in front of the post with your feet, you're offside. It's a bit of a mix-up in the laws, really, but he knew exactly where he was going. And he matches Neil Back's scoring record for a forward.
Full steam ahead for Thomas the Tank.
Your subs, hold on. Your subs, time off.
He's got a taster at now, isn't he? He really, he's been thirsting for tries all season, and Mitch Lees leading the celebrations. They are firmly committed to making a mess of this Saracens' effort this afternoon, and the full 7 points, 24 points to 20, with 8 and a bit minutes to go. Exeter back into full spot. This, remember, would leave Leicester, Exeter and Saracens all scrapping for points on the final day. Saracens up against London Welsh away, Exeter at home to Sale, Leicester at home to Northampton in the final round of matches. Live on BT Sport next Saturday from 3 o'clock. Here's Farrell. Beautifully floated pass for Strattle. Looking for the inside ball, perhaps should have given it. The penalty is Saracens as Ducott tries to weave a passage through. Farrell for good. Sarries upping the tempo here, as they surely must. Still got that penalty if they want it. Tompkins, though, with another little burst.
15 hands on ground, then fell.
JP Doyle there deciding he was going to stop it before.
15 hands on ground, then fell over.
He called advantage over. If they'd gone one more phase, he might have been forced into that. I think Strettle made the right decision to hold on to the ball there. There was a lot of traffic on the inside, forcing the pressure back onto the Chiefs.
What a finale we are all set up for now. 4-point ball game, 6.5 minutes to play. A couple of crackers this weekend already on BT Sport. Bath beating Quins by a point. And yesterday, the Leicester victory at the Ricoh. Sarries well set.
Well set well. It's a bold call not to go for the 3 points, get them within a scores range and a drop goal. They're going for the full 5-pointer here, and it's looking good. Chiefs working hard, coming back round the corner, firing in, disrupting the drive. They've lost a lot of bodies on the floor. Penalties coming. Another free shot for Sarries.
Ducott feeds Strettle. Farrell goes wide, good, and wider still. It won't fall. It won't fall for Ashton. They will have the penalty anyway.
17.
Farrell's pass, absolutely superb under pressure. You thought he was only going to be able to throw it to his closest man. He throws the missed pass, takes out the extra defender under pressure, and if that goes to hand, it's a score.
And it's almost impossible for good, because his winger is Ashton so far out on the wide channel. Kids watching that at home who play on the wing, you do not need to stand all the way out there. You can be right on the shoulder of the last defender. It's a brilliant pass from Farrell under such pressure. Very tough to catch and give with a spin of that sort of distance.
Once more into the corner.
They were penalised for blocking, remember? Same for you guys.
Referee just reminding Cruz not to get done for blocking.
Hargreaves, the club captain.
Big knocks in on that ball. He's done really well.
I'm blowing tackle.
Forest of arms and legs. Sarries still with the possession.
I'm blowing tackle.
Interesting call though from JP Doyle. Why is that a tackle rather than a collapse maul?
It was very quick, very dynamic.
There we go. He's saying because it was very quick and very dynamic. Something I never struggled with.
Speed and dynamism.
Either physically or mentally.
Furrowed brows in the Saracens coaching camp. Every possibility, though, open from here. Into the final 5 minutes. Terrific atmosphere. Playoff place on the line.
Saracens have a very flat initial 3 off this scrum if the ball does come. It's been gone round 90.
It's right on the mark, 2 teams going around. Reset. It's just a reset.
Just a reset though.
We need Saracens, you guys, your tight end, your loose head to engage at the same time. Loose head Saracens, same distance as your tight head. We need both your loose head and your tight head at the same distance, okay? At the moment we've got 2 different distances each side. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So People searching for that solidity and stability in the scrum. He wants to be able to see this ball used. Wide of noise now at Allianz Park. Neil de Kock settles them in.
Brilliant initial shove from Brown.
Big disruption from the Chiefs, but Ernst Joubert breaks away with it. Quickly on from Brits to Vunipola. Exeter, their defence is being stretched here, looking to call more men over to that short side now. Neil de Kock. Strettle off his wing and driving up to within 5 metres. Terrific work from the men in black. Brits cut down by Steenson.
Wild screaming for the crossfield again.
Use it.
All hands on deck for the Exeter Chiefs. Their playoff hopes might rest on this defensive effort, and Saracens can't make the pass stick.
Very strange decision from Farrell to ask for the ball there on that short side. Yes, if you've got numbers, yes, if you've really got an easy run into the outside, but they're numbered off. They're actually down, they're 2 on 3. I know Strettle can finish in most situations, but you've got to keep that tight around the forwards. Exeter have done it to you all afternoon. Keep going around the fringes, keep pestering them.
I thought he'd gone to the blind side to run that arc back to the open for the crossfield kick to Wiles, because by the time that ball came out, Exeter's last defender was at the posts. Wiles stood on the touchline, accurate kick.
Let's go.
It would have been a walk-in.
So there we go, for one of the final times this afternoon, into the last couple of minutes. Exeter would be in 4th place if they cling on for victory here. Saracens in 5th. But neither Leicester, Exeter nor Saracens would qualify today if the result remains as it stands. It would go to that final round of matches next Saturday. Hope you're well aware of the permutations by now. I feel like a bit of a stuck record, but I recognise people will be joining us all the time perhaps, and it does need clarifying. The Chiefs will be mighty grateful to have the ball from here. Need to take care of it. Waldron with 2 tries to his name already, and he's given up the penalty.
It's the right decision as well. Hill sealed off his feet.
So I can compete, because 12 has just come straight in.
Furious, Thomas Waldron.
Just wonder, with the last couple of drive attempts, Exeter have gone in really quickly, so Saracens might look to hold the jumper in the air just for an extra couple of milliseconds, force Exeter to wait. You can say it's a really good tackle from Berger and de Kock just to put Hill under pressure.
And it's wasteful from Saracens this time, and Slade has it.
Knock on, 10, 20 in the tackle.
Not forwards by Saracens, so the advantage here with Exeter into the final minute of the match. If they can play keep ball now.
Advantage over, use it.
Might just have done enough. The advantage is now finished.
No, 23.
It is there in the arms of Will Chudley, who then sends it skywards. Last chance for Saracens, perhaps. Nothing Ashton could do. Tompkins is enveloped, and the white shirts swarm forwards. De Kock. Brits. Determination etched all over his face, but they're back behind halfway now, Sarries. They've got to conjure something very, very special if they're to win this one and seal their place in the top 4. That look forwards from Farrell, straddles away.
Tackle only.
De Kock feeds Ashton. Brilliant tackle from Matt Jess. Still Sarries come. Cruz, the tackles raining in. The white hordes rampaging all across Allianz Park. They've got the advantage. Ewers has set it up. The clock has gone red. And here is victory for the Chiefs. A massive win for Rob Baxter's men, and it puts them right in the playoff mix.
Oh, huge win. Come away from home, smash and grab, stick to your game plan, play field position, and when you get your opportunities, use your major strength, you pick and go. And Thomas Waldron with 2 really important tries, absolutely huge. And for that reason, his ability to make a difference at the key point around the try line.